It's time for another garden update. We'll just start down here and do a quick walk by. It rained last night, so everything's wet, and the petunias here look pretty poor because of the rain. The green stalk planter, we have a bird that's built a nest in that. Looks like the petunias are kind of slouching over here too. This is what it looked like before the rain. And as you can see, it kind of swallowed up the basket. Stuff back by the fence is as tall as the fence now, taller in some cases. But everything in the garden's doing pretty well for the most part. We've got some disease started a little bit on the tomatoes, but nothing major. But everything's looking pretty good overall. A Carolina wren made a bird's nest over here in the beans on the green stalk planter. There's a quick peek of that. There are a lot of tomatoes on the Shimofuri on the hanging grow bag there. Sun gold cherry tomatoes are sitting on lots of tomatoes, and I really have neglected this plant back here. It should have been pruned some, but it can still be done. We got the China jade cucumbers. We've been picking a crazy number of cucumbers. We picked 29 in one day. Here's a look at some of the cucumbers we harvested one morning. The most we've harvested in one day was 29, and we had another day that we harvested 18. Along with all the cucumbers, we're getting plenty of tomatoes, beans, and a few other things too. We've been picking quite a few beans off this cage with the Seychelles pole beans. And we've got long beans in this cage. They're both well past the top of the cages. We've got red noodle beans and the regular long beans. Looks like we have some aphids started. There's a long bean that's invaded this pole that I have marking a little plant. The tomatoes are just covered with tomatoes. I just picked one a little bit ago. I should have waited till I started the video, but this is the Tasmanian chocolate. Here's a closer look at those Tasmanian chocolate tomatoes. We're going to get a decent number of tomatoes just from that one plant. And we have a Belgian giant that's getting ripe down here. You can barely see it. This is the Japanese long trellis here. It's got cucumbers on it. We pick cucumbers every day. Sometimes a lot of them. Sorry about my finger there. We've been making pickles as quick as we can make pickles. Here's a look at some of the pickles that we canned. We also made some pickled beets. The pickled beets are not canned, but they're made from a refrigerator pickled beets recipe that we have a video on. If you're interested in seeing that, I'll put a link down below. And I've noticed quite a few aphids started on the cucumbers, but I also noticed quite a few ladybugs and some ladybug eggs, so I think that is going to resolve itself. Let's look over here. Yeah, this Bundaberg Rumball, it's got a little bit of disease on it, but look at those tomatoes. We've still been pulling some carrots. We've got 3 different kind over here. Some purple dragon, some experimental carrots I'm working on, and another type that I can't remember right now. Then I've got a row of zinnias that are just now starting to open. Can't wait to see what all of those look like, because I've been working on that little project for a few years also. We've got one here that's opening up. Got a few stripes on it. Got basil growing over here by the peppers. That's an Aconcagua Ajicachucha. And we've got, I just noticed some color on the orange ripple peppers over here I didn't realize we had down towards the bottom. See if I can get my phone down here. Well, there we can see. Got a couple of ripe ones down there. And lots of green ones. It's just covered with peppers. Then we've got the habanada. It's got a couple of ripe ones down at the bottom. I need to pull. I'm back here with the variegated corn. So you can see it. We've got quite a few ears. But I'll be harvesting some corn in a couple weeks maybe, I'm not sure. This is a cool looking pepper plant. Now that the peppers have started to ripen, I also have a mutant in the same pot. Here's another variegated mutant pepper that looks pretty cool. And we have peppers everywhere. These are pepper crosses. I'm not sure which type those are because there are multiple crosses combined. I think some of them are 4-way crosses, some of them are 6-way crosses. This is a Midwest Midnight Eclipse 2.0. Then we got the Cacho White Leaf over there. That's a pretty cool looking pepper. The Rose of Sharon bush is blooming, and when the hummingbirds start their migration south, they really like using this bush as well as their other ones. This pepper is kind of hidden by the potatoes over here, but it's doing pretty well. And we got some dark peppers there and a noisy truck behind us. We've got Midwest Midnight Eclipse over here. I think that's, not sure, F7, F8. Some of those potatoes are dying back pretty well, so might have to harvest some of those soon if I find time. Our hardy hibiscus are blooming. They don't look their best right now because of the rain, but they're really beautiful and the pollinators love them. And we also have some red ones. These don't quite produce as many flowers as the pink and white ones, but they're very pretty. I'm going to do a quick walk by of our F2 peppers over here. Some of them are getting ripe and some of them aren't. But they're all doing pretty well. This is the Midwest Midnight Eclipse 2.0. Looking pretty good. It's got quite a few peppers on it. And I've shown these before. They're siblings, these three. This one gets red peppers on it. This one gets orange peppers on it. And the one in the back there has upright peppers that are long and straight instead of short and round. And all three of these are variegated. The Midwest Midnight Orange peppers are really dark, and they're starting to get a few peppers on them. They have dark foliage, purple flowers, and purple peppers that turn orange once they get ripe. There's a look at that tomato plant that has the crazy flowers on it. It set on quite a few tomatoes, but nothing like the number of blooms that it had on it. This week, instead of having 2 videos like we have the last couple of weeks, we're just going to have 1. If you're just now finding this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.